Well, here we are back again, Roy. This week I think we just feel that it's a critical week for cafe owners, wherever you are in Australia, because there's so much talk about reopening the economy, and with generally the cases of COVID nice and low, we are all preparing for that, you might say, that start again to get back into business. And that will happen, I guess, when some of the schools open. I mean, in other states, they're looking at opening schools. That puts children back there, puts mums, you might say, back on the road, taking kids to school. It also means that a lot of the offices might open again in the CBD. So we're getting back into a little bit more normal, and that's going to change the whole playing field out there. Mm-hmm. And really why I'm urging to just reach out to our trusted cafe partners right now. Some are closed still, some are open for takeaway, but to all of you, we just feel it's a critical time to just make sure that you're going to be ready to be in pole position when that start again goes.
Yeah, so there's going to be a number of cafes that at this stage are still closed, unsure of what the restrictions are going to be. By this Friday, we'll have a fresh sense of that direction that we've got to take. And so if you closed, there's just 6 key points that we want you to just run your eye over, have a look at them, explore them, to make sure that you are ready to go. What's the first one that we've got in mind?
Well, I guess from my part in this business as director, the kind of thing that I feel is number one is really looking at your whole financial position, and you might say your business plan to get up and running again. And simply what I would encourage, it's what we've done, obviously, is use your P&L spreadsheet, just an Excel spreadsheet perhaps, but put in different scenarios. We don't know what's going to happen quite, but put it in and include in there any government funding that you might be getting. If you're getting any JobKeeper, put it in and try and make sure that you've got a plan that will actually deliver some profit out the bottom.
What's some scenarios? One could be that you allowed to have people sitting in your cafe, but that they may keep in place the 4 square metre rule.
Social distancing within your cafe.
Yep. Yeah, it could just be that you can have, you can't have more than 50 or 100 people in the cafe, but they've got to be 1.5 metres away from each other, so that's spreading the tables. There's many different scenarios that you can work through.
So what we're saying is just think about, you might say, the business side of your cafe, and make sure that is poised for returning, and that you've got a good handle on where you are in terms of your cash and your business plan. Yep. So, and number 2, I think probably the second thing is and it really links in with your business plan, but is to look at your menu and your service offering. So are you just going to start with takeaway? Are you going to do takeaway and cater for some sit-in? Are you going to do home deliveries? And tailor your menu. You got anything to say on the menu front?
Well, the biggest one that some of the people that have already opened have found is that they're not serving dishes plated up, looking amazing. They're having to move to putting that same dish, but putting it into a plastic container for somebody to take home. So that's the type of menu things you've got to look at.
Modification, adapting your menu to fit the new normal. The next thing I want to go on to is staff. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on these things, but thinking about your people and making sure that you've got the people to deliver what you need to deliver, but most importantly that you don't re-employ too many or too few to be able to deliver a great experience to your customers.
Yep, the main ones to look at is the 3 positions. So you've got the chefs in the kitchen, you've got your barista team, and then you've got your wait staff. And there may be stages of bringing those back. Obviously you've got to have kitchen and you've got to have the barista. The wait staff is an interesting one. Don't have too few, but don't have too many.
Well, I think that brings us on to a new point, because you're going to find that your wait staff might have a different role to play in making people feel welcome, comfortable, safe and confident in your cafe. And it's what we might refer to as making your cafe COVID safe. And I think this is an important thing, and we're actually doing a checklist for our customers that you can download, just from what we've found in talking out there in the industry. Yep. But to make sure that you're ready, and that might be, I look at the big guys went into Woolworths and Bunnings and that over the weekend, and what you feel, the whole shop feels different. There's something that feels different, And it's basically that it's uncluttered and they've created space. They've created a feeling of space. And that's something, every cafe is different and different in size, but it's something that I think we should all be thinking of, is how to make your cafe feel like I'm not shut in, I'm not closed in, I'm not too close to people. Give people that feeling of space and you'll find that they feel comfortable.
Point 4.
We just did it. That's COVID safe. Point 5. What I would say is checking equipment. So the last thing we want is when you come to that morning to start up, turn the coffee machine on, and the water doesn't come through the group head. We have had it. People that have had their machines shut down for a little while, turn it on, and the valves, solenoid valves, become a bit calcified or something. Check your equipment well in advance. That's your kitchen equipment, your coffee machine, your grinders. Get everything nice and running smoothly so that you're ready to roll. And lastly, under that heading, I would also just say stock, right? So obviously making sure that you've got your ingredients, you've got your takeaway packaging, you've got your coffee beans. Most important. Lastly, I'd like to talk about advertising or marketing. So what can we do to let people know that we're open?
Yeah, well, these are the obvious ones, and I think we're talking about obvious ones here. Is signage out the front of your cafe. And maybe it's not an actual sign, but it could be the umbrellas and the barriers. A lot of people haven't been putting those out because obviously there's no people sitting out there needing that coverage from the rain or from the wind or whatever. These things are signposts that you are open for business. And the second one, I think, which you're more in, is the social media side, or that way of showing that you're open.
Yeah, well, I think that's important. So the physical signage and the doors open and the lights on. That's one thing, and then your social media, obviously, putting out those posts, being a bit creative, cutting through the noise, and getting your cafe on the headlines there, you might say. And lastly, I was talking to one of our customers, and he said he had opened and he was pretty quiet, but he did with the local radio station. Just a simple advert on there telling everybody that he was open again, and he said his sales jumped in that week by $4,000. Okay, I found out that he spent $1,000 on radio advertising, so you might say that's a bit of a juggle, but what's going to work in your situation? I guess that's what you need to think about, is what's the best way for you to put your banner out there again. You might say that you're open and ready to give people a great coffee experience.
It's good.
That's all I was thinking about. I think we just need to be proactive this week to make sure that we're open and ready and we don't miss the boat. Yeah. Thanks.